record to this computer. Boom, we are recording. So today I want to show you what we need to do on Shopify to get onto ChatGPT shopping. That's going to be our main goal. But I want to also talk to you about AI, Shopify, and how we can pitch up, and a little bit about the history, because up to now, we've been doing SEO a little bit here and there. You know, we rely on the theme to have our SEO a little bit done, which means our schema on the back end so the bots can read us. And if we need extra, you know, we use an SEO app, and that's all fine, and off it goes and does its thing. And we can still continue to do that. But now, to be able to compete for ChatGPT shopping and all the other shopping that's going to happen on AI, we need to add that extra step. So AI and I have been having major discussions about it. And I've been preparing this for about 6 months. And as you guys know, it is really an ongoing thing, and things change all the time, including Shopify changes all the time. So I think I've got it already. And I've been listening to the other experts, and everybody agrees that we now are in the middle of what we need to do. Again, you know, we need to have our descriptions updated. We need to have images, nice images, so people can shop for our products, because they can't touch, feel, or smell our products. Touch, feel, or taste, or smell. And so we need to also add more content to our pages, because I always say, you know, you have to prepare for two different types of customers. One that just pushes the button, like me. I don't read anything. I'm a very bad reader. I'm a skimmer. And then two, you have the engineer, like my hubby, who will look at every single detail that he needs. Obviously, he also looks at stuff that he needs for the boat, but that he needs to make a determination whether he's going to buy it or not. And guaranteed, those types of customers will pop off that page in the blink of an eye if you don't have information. And I hear a lot of complaints here in the back of me when he's doing his research. So we know we have to add the content. We also know, and most people in here know, my big thing is blogging, and I've been talking about it for years. And blogging is more about giving your customers more information, and so that they can see how the product works, what it does, how you created it, how you box it, anything that you can think of to give them more information. So now with the new stuff, we need more schema. And so schema is the rich snippets, rich data that we need to add to our websites. And that means we need to add more information on the back end. And why is that? Because the bots cannot read, well, now they can, AI can, but the bots cannot read the images, right? They read the HTML that you have in the back end of your store. That's what they read. So the schema is, you blog, it says, this is an article. This is the author that's writing the article. This is the date. This is how long it takes to read, and all the information you have in your blog. Or you have your product page, right? You have your price, you have your reviews, which is your aggregate schema. You have your description, which is important, and you have your images. Again, we have to add all this stuff on the front end. So we're more concerned about people that cannot see, that explains the images to our customers. But now we have to cater more to the bots. And why is that? Because that's AI. AI also sends out its bots and says, is this page important? Can I show it to my customers? Does it have enough information? Google used to do that, but we did get away with murder, right? I mean, you know, people got up on page 1 just by doing advertising. So AI and I have decided that this is what we need to do within Shopify. And one of the cool parts about Shopify is that we have meta fields and meta objects. So let me show you a couple of my sites. I'm going to share my screen with you. Let me get this out of the way. And let me blur my background here a little bit. Otherwise, you'll be seeing my hubby coming in and out. Okay. So here we have, I'll show you my website. Here we have meta objects in Shopify. And meta objects in Shopify, my pinned, can you see my screen? Hang on, let me see. I think I've pinned myself. Anyway, anybody tell me if you can see the Shopify thing? The screen? Because I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. No, I should be more obviously more experienced in this, right? But anyway, so we have our meta objects in here in Shopify, and we'll talk about more about that in a minute. And then if you guys have been messing around in Shopify, you know, and you've seen the meta fields and the meta objects, right? So obviously you haven't been messing around in it too much because you got to understand what it actually does. And unfortunately, there are not a lot of YouTube videos to show you how to really, really use this. One of the reasons Shopify started it is so you can add more content dynamically to your customized editor, which means in your theme. So when you're in your theme, you can now add an image, descriptions, and it all is in your meta objects. So that was the first reason. But what I've discovered is we can use it in more instances, including adding it to our pages and then creating the schema that Google, Bing, and AI need. Okay, so let's start with the products. I don't know if you guys have realized this is the big thing for, let me go to, actually, no, let me go in here. The big thing in Shopify is you have to, I can't tell you enough, is add your categories. And I mean in detail, not just at the top where it says books and media. I want to know suggested, obviously, because I've got both books in here. So it suggests, Shopify will suggest a section for you. But if you are in, who's this? About plants. Actually, this is a good one, right? So this is a THC site that we're setting up right now. So if you have a look at theirs, this is what Shopify does suggest. And it's a good suggestion because this is non-alcoholic, because it's THC, obviously. But the reason I do not use it is because I don't want anybody to know anything about alcoholic because Google will kick my butt, right? So I've added energy drinks under food, beverages, tobacco, beverages, sport and energy drinks, and energy drinks. Although I can say sport drinks as well, but energy drinks, because it gives you that energy, right? So you have to add your categories in detail. This is part of what the bots are going to read in the back end, in the code in your Shopify store. This is important for Google as well as Bing, because they will put you in a category where people will find you. You have to be really cognizant of doing it in detail, okay? And then obviously, I love this. It does give you suggestions for your meta fields. And here we are talking about meta fields. So I bet you guys have seen this. And this you have to fill out as much as you can, because all of this is associated with your product for Google, Bing, and AI. It puts you in the right category. It tells them this is shelf stable. Shelf stable? ready to drink, hemp infused, a mocktail. Well, it is gluten-free, right? I love that. Vegetarian, organic, non-MSG, anything that you can think of that this will suggest, but you can also add your own in here. So if there's no suggestion that you cannot find in Shopify, you will add your own suggestion and it creates a meta field for you. And you can be really just vague on this as well. Just make it as close to it as possible. So anyway, so this is super important to add. It adds also to that SEO AI, and this is what an app will not do for you. Then you have your product meta fields, and that's another suggestion. Yeah, that's it. That's it for the products. So when you are adding your content and your meta fields as well, I started adding things that I want for different pages. And why do I add them in meta objects? Is because then I only have one space to actually change it. I don't have to change it on any pages. I can add it to any page in my customize, but if I need to change it, then I only have to change it in one spot. So even my sections at the bottom, and actually, you know what, since Brian is here, let's do dust few mist. At the bottom that I've added on these pages, I had to add them manually for every page that I wanted. So I want this to be on my main page and my product page. So meta objects, I will add it to the meta object so that I only have to add it once. And if I want to change it, the telephone number changes, the email changes, whatever changes, I can only do it in one spot. So now I add one app right now. You guys know I don't like to add a lot of apps because it messes up the code. And when you have too much code or too many apps with different types of codes in your pages, then it takes a long time to download, and then you get dinged for downloading with the technical side of SEO. So I have tested InstaIndex, which was suggested by Bing to use. InstaIndex has now expanded. It used to only be indexing anything new that you add to your website. And I found this is one of the only SEO apps that do it. It's very basic. I love it. It doesn't add anything to the front of your pages. It adds that stuff that you need on the back end of your pages for Google, for Bing, and for AI. So, this is what I like about it. So every time you change something on your website, and it's actually very cheap, by the way, it's $14 or $1, I can't remember, $1 for 3 months. It will post it to Bing, and it'll post it also to Google. Why do we need to do that? Because we want those bots back into our pages to make sure that we are updated. Now we get back to AI again. What does AI do? AI will only reference anything that is an updated version of whatever information you have. So updating your pages or adding blogs or doing anything new on your site is even more important than what it was for the last 10 years with SEO. So my suggestion is adding more information as blogs and adding those blogs as articles or as how-tos to the product pages. So now with this little app, and I love it, but it's cheap. It doesn't do too much to my pages that I cannot control, and you want to control that. So this is the one that we want to make sure that we have, actually, this instant navigation. Schema markup, right? The schema markup is for AI and is for your SEO, obviously Bing and Google, obviously, but it's for AI bots to come and read the pages and maybe reference you on somebody that actually searches for whatever you're selling. So first, AI needs to know about your organization. So adding, you can add this with an app or you can add it manually. I've added both manually and with an app. You can't do both on the same store. You have to do one or the other. You can't do double up. So here, and it's funny that it doesn't actually pull the stuff from Shopify, but your Shopify themes won't show these particular schema markups that you need. So this is extra that you need to add to your website. And here it's actually very easy. I need to add the description here. So there's the logo, your social links, contact details. And where does it show it? Let's add this to my, here's how you test it. So let's add this to my HTTPS. And so if you've known me long enough, you know that we talk about Google Search Console all the time. At one stage, we needed to, every time you write a blog, you needed to index it in Google Search Console. So everybody knows that you have a new content to your website. So those bots come faster. Because if you don't update your website on a regular basis, those bots tend to stay away and eventually they will only come in once a month or something. I have no idea. But let's have a look here. Okay, powered by plants. Oh, no. This is a drinkppp.com. So testing your URL. So here you can see, when you test it, you can see what is on the back end of your website, whether your schema is the correct one. And I've tested them all, and they're all just very basic for your product page. So if you have FAQs, it is not in the actual rich results, and you want the rich results. So if you can look here, we have breadcrumbs, which is fabulous. And obviously, and a couple of times it'll tell us just non-critical issues. Don't worry about it, right? So let's see here. DrinkPub, it's got the name, it's got the URL, it's got our logo, contact, and I should actually have more information in here. Let's see what's powered by plants, invalid country code. This might be Google that tells us that we don't have our country code in there, so we need to add that as well. So if you have Google and YouTube app on your website, the merchant listing will be in here as well. Because he's THC, we can't put him on Google, right? He's banned. So anyway, so now you can see. So if we add, let's add here. I've got several in here. Let me add industrial photo. One of her product pages. So I've been optimizing the product pages to see how we can add more schema to make sure that all the information that's on that product page will be read by the bots. Again, the themes won't do it because they only do the minimum, and you know, they can't do everything for everybody because it's going to be too much, because we don't really need all the code in the back of our themes. So they do the minimum that they required, which is in the product page, right? So we want to add more to it so that we can compete with the big brands for ChatGPT and shopping. So if you look here, merchant listing, we have something missing there. We have breadcrumbs, we've got organization, 2 invalid snippets. Interesting. Let's have a look. So this is our review app that for some reason isn't doing the right thing. So we need to find out exactly what is wrong with it. And reviews are another thing, schema that is very, very important for the bots. They want to know, do people like your product? How do they like your product? What are the comments on that product? And what are the stars on the product? And we know that Google used to do this as well. This was one of the tests for Google as well. So if we go back, we can see a product snippets. Here you'll see Piglet bracket. Yeah, we don't have price valid until, because it's just the price. This is a common issue. I have no idea why it's 101 of them. But here, so we have products, it delineates it as a product. That's what the bot wants to know. The ID, this is your link, the name of the product. So this is where your SEO comes in, that you need to improve on your product. Then you have your URL of the product. The brand, what is the brand? Industrial Farm Co. So if you're selling more than one brand, then you will add different brands into that page. Let me see if I have, no. Yeah, I've got this one open. So if we like Itsy Bitsy, she has 110 brands that she sells. So this is what I've created with meta objects and a little bit of coding in the sections of the coding editor to be able to show it on here, and it adds it automatically. So this is an extra little step that I'm taking, is we need to add it to the meta objects to make it easily updatable. But taking it one step further is, how can I optimize the pages so that the bots think I'm important on this website and we have a lot of brands? So this is the extra section that I've added. Let me show you what I've done. So with the brand editor, oh, this is the brand directory, yeah. Oh, it shows it, I've just added it as a page, right? So with the meta objects, another cool part about this is, if you have different brands, or maybe you have people that are creating your product, right? So if we have, say for instance, Industrial Farm Co has like 5 welders that they want, 5 really excellent welders that make their products, then we will have a little bio of the welder that we can add to the product page. So when we're looking at the product page, this is the way I'm pulling in the brand that is particular to that one page into each of the product pages, which is now enhancing that page, because I'm talking about the designer, right? So if we have a look here, I don't think I've added it to this one. No, let's have a look here. I'm going to change it because I know exactly where I added it. Beauties, Blue Beauties. And let's have a look here. Boom. So now this is pulling in my brand for that particular page. But think about this. If you're creating this, you can actually pull in information about you, the owner, which should be on the product page automatically. But it is also in your content, in your meta objects. I get out of here. In your content. So if your information changes, or you just want to change your photo or something else, then you can do that because it's in one place, even though you have it in like 4 or 5 other places. You have it on your product page, you have it on your about page, you have it on your, maybe you have it on your, you have it on your blog, right? So you only have one place where you can, actually change the image, your title, description. I have all sorts of things in here that I know that the bots are looking for, because I am the author, not the author, I am the expert in my website. You are the expert in your website. You are the expert, you know the expertise, that's authentication. So having this in your store is a huge deal. SEO won't do this for you, right? SEO apps, that's what I'm saying. So SEO apps won't do this for you, although they will have a little bit of information that they'll add, but they won't add social links, which this is what the AI bots and the Google and Bing bots will be looking for, is where are you represented as a person, as an expert. So the more you can add to this, the better it is. And so it's not really, so it could be your business page, but preferably it's your personal stuff that you need to add as well. Your LinkedIn bio, right? What else is there? Your YouTube, if you have a YouTube, because you will be on the YouTube, even though you are representing your store, your business, it will be you as well. So, and then obviously I have two bios. I was testing out rich snippets and I was testing out this because the coding didn't work properly. Shopify is still building the stuff up. So it's not always the perfect thing. So talking about FAQs, I want to be known as the expert. So in any blog that we're writing for anybody, we are adding FAQs. And what I mean by that is, so if we are in a blog post, you notice where everything is here, guys. There's the menus, files, and blog posts. If we're writing any blog post, I add, and I'll pick on Christy again. If we're writing anything for Christy, we're starting to add a how-to list. We're adding a tool list because she does the supports and everything that you have to put up yourself or somebody else does. And everything that I can, I will add FAQs because it's for skimmers like me that want immediate answers. But guess what? The bots love that stuff, right? So they know that we're keeping our customers informed and telling them and answering the questions. Now I get back to voice search. Voice search on AI, or let me say, search on AI is more comprehensive than what it ever was in Google. So people are tending to expand on their search term. If they are searching for, I need blue sneakers with buttons on them, and I need it for running, and I have a bad knee, and all of that information will go into AI because I want a specific answer. So if you are not answering that specific question, and I know we can't answer everything, but you can answer everything about your product, then you will actually pop up. This is the way we are going to win with the big brands. And I keep saying that, this is like a wave that we are climbing because of AI is growing. And the big brands are there because they have the big teams, right? They have the big teams that are working on SEO, they're working on the blogs, they're working on the descriptions. And with maybe a little baby team. So how are we going to win the competition is more information, more blogs, videos that we are shooting about our products, discussing our business, telling people what we make, what we do, why we do it, how we do it, right? I keep saying to, so it's Christy with the welding. I said, everybody will be fascinated with the welding and the sparks, right? Nobody does not look at that. And so for Lynn with Hug Patrol, she needs to show her sewing machine going up and down the material. People love that stuff, right? So you need to start thinking about outside the box of what else can you be adding to your product pages. And videos is a huge deal. So you can add those videos to your blog, to your social, to wherever. But again, we need the schema. So the schema will be how we're going to present it to the bots because they just don't read, they can't see what's in the actual video. So what I do is, and apparently this is a good thing, I'll tell you why in a minute, is I create these little videos of everything and anything that I do in Shopify right now because I get the same questions. And I thought this is a cool idea. So what do I do is these are screenshots that, with the software. And then what I do is I turn it into screenshots with steps. It's a tutorial. And so again, listicles, we know the basics of SEO, right? Listicles, steps, education, how-tos, why, all those questions that we asked before are even more important now to add them to each one of your blogs. And you can. And I mean, for instance, we are talking about t-shirts. Now, what can you say about t-shirts? You have to really, really, really think about it. So what I suggested to Caroline and Michael is that they are RVing right now. Well, sometimes. So talk about your experiences while you are RVing, and then why you're creating that t-shirt. You got an idea while you were driving, or while you were standing, or while you were doing something. People love stories, right? But again, I always think of how can we monetize the information that we have on our pages, because we need to pop up on ChatGPT shopping. And did I tell you that Shopify and ChatGPT shopping actually made a deal? You can actually see if you are mentioned in ChatGPT in Shopify right now. I don't think I'm mentioned yet, right? So I'm building on it. I am on page 1 because I've been blogging every day. This is a daily occurrence. And I do 2 business blogs as well. You don't have to do that much. But what I would suggest is, and what I'm suggesting for any of my customers, is blog more often. Be aggressive about it. You know, this is like 10, 15 years ago. And I know Charles will know because he was in marketing at that stage years ago, right? Had a huge team, a huge business marketing. The deal was, if you're blogging, do like a blog a day and you're going to pitch up on Google. It's the same thing with AI right now. You have to start adding more content to your store. And the way we're going to do it, because we can't update our pages to the nth degree, we need to, but we can't, is by adding the blogs, because that keeps our website fresh. I want to show you my favorite site. And if you've known me for a long time, we have been watching these guys. I've been on the boat for 14 years now. For 14 years. They are, everybody now, everybody knows them. But when they started, nobody did. You sell right. Oh yeah, they're these guys, and they can sell the products at premium. But what they started doing in the day, right? They have these projects, do-it-yourself projects, and they literally show you how to create them. They're very sophisticated now, I must tell you. So you have the video, obviously, it was never this fancy. You have the video chapters, you have the material list, which is fabulous, right? You have the tool list, and it actually shows you whatever. Oh, this is just an image. And then it starts talking about what to do. Then it has the products down here. That's another thing that I've added to Shopify, is how to, so when you are talking about products in your blog, we need to have a link to your products in your blog, right? Because it has to lead to your product, to your store. So what do we do is, do I have it on here? Featured products. I created a meta objects that is a featured product. What does that mean? I can add several different products to my blog that ends up at the bottom. Obviously, I have to then do it in Customize Editor. So if I'm adding, say I'm adding this and I'm adding this to this blog, just randomly, save. So if I go to my blog right now, themes, okay. And I'm going to my edit. So my technical is terrible, right? Don't do what I show you, do what I do, do what I show you, not do what I do, right? So when I look at my blog posts, I want to make sure that those products will pop up. So here we go, my blog, blah, blah, blah. And here's my author that I've added, my author bio, which is, I have two authors for my blog, Amanda, myself. So I can add either Amanda. Oh no, we haven't added Amanda to this one yet. Okay, so we close this one. But if I had more than one author, I would add them to this blog. So to whichever blog they were writing, right? Then I'm going to be adding, let's see if I can find the products. No, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. This is a new thing. I don't know if I actually bought this or not. I haven't added it to here. But so if I add in my settings, in meta fields and meta objects, let's see here, I have product bundles, blog, I'll call it blogs featured products. Oh, I don't want to put it into, here we go. If I add it into my blog post, so I've added my FAQs, so that my featured products are in here. Hang on. Add a definition, blogs featured. I don't know if it'll add it, blogs featured products. I'm going to add, I want a list of, no, I'm adding a one value. I'm adding a meta object, and it's my blogs featured product. Let's see if we can see it. So now I can add any product to my blogs. Again, that enhances for users. It hopefully gets my sales going. And I am telling SEO that I'm improving my SEO of my pages. And that is the secret of how to get yourself onto ChatGPT shopping. I think I've shown you enough, right? So there are several other things that I can show you. This is my my guide that I have on my blogs that I'll send to you guys, is the implementation, what you need. You need to enable the search bot access. That's a completely, you've got to create an app in Shopify, and that's what I do as well. But you create these meta objects, right? FAQs, your author owner meta object, your featured product meta object, shows you exactly what to do. And then I also have your schema. This is what you will add to the edit code in your sections. So you'll be able to see it on the front end, and the bots will know what it is all about on the back end. Any questions? Anybody have any questions?
I do.
I know you do.
Big
Yes,
surprise.
yes.
I found this very helpful, also very overwhelming. I would have
Oh,
to go back
yeah.
bits
So,
and pieces.
okay. I have the, you have the video, but
You're right.
let me show you. And this document is also a bit overwhelming. Believe me, I've been working on this for a long time and created new ones. So I have something here that you're going to love. I literally have a spreadsheet that I actually originally created for my blogs because I got confused. I've got 100 plus videos, guys, 100 plus videos that I've created for Shopify. So as I said, when I'm in Shopify, I'm always creating a video, how to transfer your domain, how to add a discount and add various portions to the disc. Everything that I'm doing now, I'm doing in a video, and I'm creating a blog about it because I'm writing the update in the books for next year. But here,
Veronica,
yes, ma'am,
I would say too, like, I find that it helps like to implement one piece
at a time.
in
Yes,
bulk at a time. Like that's what I do rather than trying to do it all at once. Like I'll work on adding the meta object on multiple blogs one
yes,
day, and then I'll go back and because it is overwhelming. So rather than trying to tackle the list, I will just
yes,
like I add my author, I'll go back on a bunch of, and
yes,
so if that's helpful to anyone,
yes,
because it is overwhelming. So I just tackle like one piece
at a time.
on at a time.
Exactly. Because I literally show you, and so here in the blog, so I've got the blog link, I've got the video where I'll show you in Shopify where to click, right? and then I will have this attached to this. So you can do step by step by adding. But what I would suggest, the first thing you do, Lynn, is add InstaFeed. Okay. InstaFeed will give you the basics. We'll make sure that if you add anything new to a website, it will get indexed. And you know that at one stage, I told you, every time you write a blog, you have to index it in Google Search Console. This is our secret right now. Then, so if you have InstaFeed, files, plans, settings. Oh, that looks interesting. Oh, look at that. Huh. Okay, I didn't realize that. But there's always new things, right? Always new things. Okay, InstaFeed. Oh, this is not Insta Index. Sorry. Insta Index. No wonder I getting confused. I thought this is interesting. This is connected to Instagram. So adding Insta Index is $1 for 3 months, and then it's $14. It is well worth this little bit of money, right? This is one of the really strongly suggested apps that I like. It doesn't mess too much with the code in the back end. It just adds more stuff. Okay. So organization, add your organization in there, which is all your details, right? And you know, we don't have a telephone number, so you don't need to add a telephone number. If you don't want to add your home address, since you're working from home, don't add an address. This is all going to be very public, right? So as we know, we have to be very careful with that. Then the website is automatic, and then the products is okay. Omnisend is not doing reviews in the new year, which means we have to now have a review app, unfortunately. So if you are on Omnisend and you have your reviews on Omnisend, which was free, by the way, at one up to now, because we were paying for the emails. Now we have to pay for the reviews, and review apps are very important. So you can add your review app in here, and I think they've got most of them in here. Your shipping details, it's the same information that you would add for your Google merchant account, right? So make sure that all the information all over the place is the same. Then, so I've limited time returns only in the United States, mail shipping returns, and obviously the products are new. So for nope, they're new. So for Marilyn, she does reuse clothes and puts cool stuff on them. So those will be used. So again, this is the thing that, remember, that Google needed to know when we were doing our product updates. Let me show you in this one. When we were doing our product updates, use this. Just better bunk beds, right? So if we were doing a product before, right? Before, when we were doing YouTube and Google app. So if we had, say, for instance, if we have a product, we're going to do bulk edit. What do I need? Oh, yes. And I'm going to have a look at Google and YouTube. Yep, we've got it on Google and YouTube. But I need to know all this stuff. This is the category meta field that we used to have. It doesn't sound good. We had to add in either in the bulk edit. Now we can add it by product in the actual product. So things have changed quite dramatically for Shopify. Remember when we used to have to copy the category that I've created in the spreadsheet for you, right? That's of the past. So now we can see that here, this is literally what Google and Bing and AI want to see. So we added for Google, we used to add it for Google, but Bing would take the same information And I don't think TikTok doesn't. Maybe TikTok does now. Who knows, right? But we have one repository of information that everybody else was using. So now with the category fields, meta fields in your product page, that's already improving what we need for the pages. I think that's what I was going to say, right? Okay, let's go back to here. So new condition. Oh, that's what I was going to say. In the Google, remember, in the Google attributes, we had to add new or used or custom. We don't need to do that anymore. Custom, maybe custom. That's still, I don't know what to do with that. But all of that stuff was very, very, very important for Google. It's important for everybody else as well. So now we can add that in one place. We don't have to add it for each product in bulk edit, right? Okay, so, and I kept this at 1. I have no shipping costs. We don't have that because it's all automatic. I'm still faffing around with this because it's pretty new as well. Anyway, so that's the one thing you need to do, okay? The one thing. What it also does, it adds schema for your breadcrumbs. So your breadcrumbs are your pages. Let's see if we have breadcrumbs in this one. Yeah, this is the breadcrumb. Remember that, right? So that's automatically added from the theme, but it's not schemaed. And I'm just, you know, adding my own words here. Schemaed sounds fabulous. So, but this is there's no schema attached to this. With Insta Index, it now has some schema attached to it. So we don't need to do that in the code. But let me also back up here. In the code, I don't like putting things in code. As you guys know, it is so confusing right now. But what I'm doing is adding it to sections in the code because I can see it in customize. But also, if I'm updating my theme, that can be updated. Not everything in code gets updated when you're updating your theme, unfortunately, unless you have a theme that works with out of the sandbox updater or one of the other themes that gets updated by Shopify. It doesn't always pick it up. So I'm very cognizant of if I'm adding anything to code, will it get picked up? And that's what it is in the guide as well. But you guys know you can contact me. I'm always available, and I'll let you know in a minute some other stuff. Hang on, where was I? Yeah, breadcrumb article. This does the basics for your blog, so you don't need to add too much. And this is also for, oh, this is the web pages. So he's helping search engine index. This is indexing the pages and displays them appropriately, right? So this does the basics. So if you want to add more, the next step that I would suggest is create a meta object. And I'm going to walk you through this right now. Create a meta object. I have an FAQ in there. I have an FAQ in there. Oh, so, okay, let me show you I'll just do this in mine. You create a meta object. This is pretty easy. And again, I literally have videos for all of this stuff. You add a definition. You call it FAQ. You can call it FAQs. So this is the type, right? And you start adding fields. The fields you add is question, obviously, is one question, single line, answer, because this is what the bots are looking for. What is a question? What is an answer? Okay. This is going to be a multi-line, obviously, because if it answers the question, it's like a whole paragraph. Sometimes I also add a link here. I don't always add a physical link because I hate to push people from a product page to somewhere else. I want to keep them on the product page. But if I have a link for an FAQ that I might have in categories, I might add a link in here. Again, link, file. No, link. Right? That's it. Now we've added it. So you can do exactly the same thing. But what we need to do then, do I have two FAQs? I don't have an FAQ in here. Oh, this is cool. All right. Now, this is an entry, right? I'm going to add in here, this is a question. This is my answer. So I'm going to save that. So you can add let me show you just a bit of bunk beds. I've added every single Q&A that I have, every single FAQ that I have. Because I'm adding those FAQs, you can only add a handful to your product pages. I'm adding them to different product pages. So I have bunk beds and loft beds. So the loft beds have a different Q&A than the bunk beds, right? So you can add different FAQs to different product templates. I don't want to go too much into. There's FAQ item. I don't know why I called it that. Here, see all my FAQs? This is all in my FAQ page. Don't confuse it with your FAQ page. No, could you add this to a page? I suppose you could add this to a page, right? Yep, but you know, I like to do things double. I have an FAQ page, and why don't I add those to my FAQ page? I have no idea, but I like to add a table of contents to my page so people can find what they're looking for as a quick navigation. It's just me. So you could add whatever you have in contents to a page and customize and create your FAQ page like that. Okay. That's all I'm going to say for now, because that's enough, right, Lynn?
Yeah.
But the FAQs, start with the FAQs, because that will give you just a little bit of extra things for your product pages. So if you have FAQs in your page, to copy and paste them into meta objects, and then obviously you have to do double because you have an existing page already. Then start adding them to customize, and that's very easy. Let me show you quickly how to add them.
Thank you.
Okay, so in themes, then we go to themes, right? So this is meta objects. There is another little step that I think we need to add, and you know, Shopify keep messing around with me. Then we add them to the actual page. So let's, this is not the right page. I want to add them here because I don't have an FAQ. So let's have a look. I'm in themes. I'm in my editor. I'm going to go to products. May I go to products? Just random product. Let me see if I can see it. Yep. So I'm going to add it as a, and so let me see if I have FAQ. I have an FAQ. You might not have an FAQ. So some of the themes don't have an FAQ because we are older themes, even though we're updating our theme. So what I've done is I've bought this from Sections, and I'll add the link for you in the e-commerce, since it's an affiliate. I don't earn any money from them yet, by the way. Very sad. But anyway, I've added this from Sections, which is this, you buy a section from these guys, which is an app, and then you can add these sections to your to your theme, because then you don't have to buy a complete new theme. So I've added several things. I've bought several things from them. So I don't want to update, guys. Can you imagine updating again? All right. So here we are. We're in FAQs. You obviously have to have your main FAQ. Then we have question and answer. So here is where the cool part comes in, right? I go to connect dynamic source. Let's see if I find it. Meta objects, FAQs. This is a question. Now, this is added to the page. Isn't that brilliant? And now you can add dynamically the answer. Boom. So this is exactly what you have in your FAQ meta objects. Does that make sense?
If you're asking me, no. It makes
I
sense, but
know.
there were many steps. You said it so
Yeah.
fast I couldn't write them down. It's
I
for
have
me,
them.
I have to do it. Yeah.
I have them in there, and I have them also in specific blogs. So how to create a meta object and a meta field in a specific blog. I don't have, say for instance, I don't have my AI guide in a blog. It's going to be too long, right? So I created a blog for each of those sections just to make it just for you.
So I look under how to create a meta blog.
You need to, now I have to look. I have no idea. I've written so many of these. Hang on. Oh, there it is. Hang on. How to create a meta object. Create author. I'm going to say how to create a meta object. Yeah, so I have here. It is in here. It's in here. How to create a meta object. Let me go in the lead page. Okay, I'm going to you're creating a blog. Check. It should be on my list, but it's not because I only started the list lately. How to create FAQ. Yeah. So it's hidden. Make this visible. Yeah, my video will be in here as well. I need to make this separate. Like this is for Lynn. This is for somebody who's not going to get confused. But yeah, so
Am I the only one that is?
No. Believe me,
All
you
right.
asked the questions. That's why I created my planner. So I will add that to it'll be in the list, and then I will add. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that specific link for you in e-commerce so you can get it quickly. One more thing I want to show you. So what I did for Thanksgiving, I did for Black Friday, Industrial, Farmco. I created this, and this is a meta object as well. So it's easy to add to your pages. So you can create one for Black Friday, for Pink Friday, for Hello Friday, whatever, right? And all you have to do is hide it or pop it up. So there's no HTML because this is HTML, right? So you don't need to do any of this stuff, and it's easily taken out and added in. And you can change it in your meta objects when your discounts change next year, right? Or you want to make it less or more. So I came up with the idea because Christy called me on Thanksgiving morning going, oh, we still have Pink Friday up. I need Black Friday up. And I don't know how to do it. So this is just to make it easier. So once you've added things step by step into your Shopify store, it's going to be so much easier. And I know it's confusing, right? So I'm thinking it is, I will make sure that the steps are coordinated with the list that you can do one by one.
Thank you. That
Okay.
would be helpful.
Because I'm trying to make it so it's easy for somebody. And I don't mean it badly. You know that, right? Somebody like you who doesn't have an idea about HTML and any of that junk. I just want to get things done, right? And for somebody else that, hey, I can add this extra step because I want to, because I'm I need to add some more extra stuff in there. So I think what I need to also do in my blogs is separate the two. Is here's for the beginner, and if you're a little bit more advanced, and that's how I'm going to create my book. I am writing a book about it, obviously.
Nice.
So I know, right? And so what I've done with the book is, and I think I've lost a little bit of the plot because I'm so into the AI and research and everything, is creating this is the easy part. And if you're a little bit more advanced, here's some extra stuff. And then not adding coding to everything because that'll really confuse you. Anyway.
Yeah. And
that's
what I've noticed with AI is that when I go in there and ask a question and then I ask where can I buy it, it shows you it forms a link. It's amazing. And that's what I was hoping to get.
That's
From this as
exactly
well.
yes, that's exactly what we're moving toward, is getting that link on AI, because AI, Google, they're all getting the links. They're giving the links to you now, right?
Right. And it's so easy.
And then also if your website comes up, your page will be right on the left-hand side for Google. So, I've been doing aggressive blogs. So I will add a couple of prompts for you for blogs. And so, and one of them is adding the FAQ schema. I've been teaching Tracy to do the FAQ schema as well for the blog FAQs. And it literally is adding it into AI and then copy that and put it into that spot that I created, or you created. So creating the blogs, and one of the things I'm doing is doing some aggressive blogging. And you don't have to have, like me, 1,500 words, or I've had one for 8,000 words, and I go, oh, this is a little bit long. Can we split it? But you don't have to have a long blog, right? All you have to have is something short. So for you, for instance, if you were talking about how to use your products, this is the most important thing for you, right? How to use your products. Take each one of your products, right? Each different one, the different weights even, and talk just about that weight, how to use it, what to use with it. So you use it in a blog, and some of that description you can then also put into your product pages. So, I mean, the way that I look at blogs is I use that, I'm using that information to create another video because I can't download that stupid thing from Scribe. I'm creating a video from my blog. I'm going to create images. If I don't create the images in my blog, if you want to create a video, you have to have the images. Remember Lumen 5? I've forgotten about Lumen 5. Thank you, AI reminded me. Lumen 5 will take your blog and create a video out of that blog, but they will just pop in random images. So I'm looking to see if we can add those our own images so that they can use the images. Another thing that I'm creating is, because my blogs are so a little bit more complicated, because I'm creating my video in Scribe now, which is screenshots, and it hosts it on their bloody server. So I can't use it. I can't put it on YouTube. So me and AI are creating an engine. And so my engine is a little bit more complicated, but I'm creating a different engine for for normal stores where you create a blog and then make.com that creates that AI agent will create from a spreadsheet that you're going to put your blog in the link, grab that, feed it off to Lumen 5, create the images, grab the right images, and add it into your blog, and then add those images into Shopify. So the images are hosted on Shopify. Then I wanted to upload it to YouTube. This sounds a lot like those chickens that need to put off the light and close the door at night, right? But I can actually do it now with AI. This is the exciting thing. We can minimize the time that we spend on stuff because we have these tools that we now can use. And I've had Make for maybe a couple of years. I buy shiny objects around Black Friday and they never use it because it's like, oh my God, I've got to learn something else. But now with AI, I've literally gone through the steps of, okay, I need to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. How do you do it? And we have a lot of arguments, by the way. So I'm creating that engine, and Amanda and I were talking about it on Monday, is creating it for our clients so that we don't spend all this time doing stuff. The big thing that you need to do is, because you have the knowledge of your store and your products, is creating the blog. But then again, I have the prompt for the blog and the FAQ thing that you need to add, and it will create something beautiful for you. So
I'm looking forward to having a
I
better
know.
understanding.
Yeah,
It's
because
doing. I'm a doer.
I'm in there all the time. I'm literally in AI on a daily basis where I'm asking questions, and sometimes it gets so overwhelming because I go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, because it tells me I can do this for you. I can do this for you. This is like hey, I've got these 10 million watches you can buy. So that by the end of it, you can, what?
Yeah.
Never mind. I'll just continue with what I'm doing. But I'm learning how to compartmentalize that question and making sure that I ask the right questions and don't go off on hey, we can do this and we can do this other thing, right? And then finishing off a project before I go on to the next project. But what I'm doing now is creating that engine that will get us onto ChatGPT shopping, which I think it's already happening. It's already there. Unfortunately, we can't compete with the big brands, but we can if we do this right. So, and remember what I always say, baby steps, right? Do one thing, then as Tracy says, then do the next thing. You're sewing, we are packing, hopefully. We're getting ready for Christmas. There's only so many hours in a day that you have. So if I can create this engine that can take that blog that you can think of first thing in the morning, middle of the night, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Then we can feed it into this engine and then get something decent out. So I don't have time. I don't have time to do anything anymore because.
And it's the polar opposite of what the whole idea is.
Yeah, but the thing is that, and it's like anything else. Remember when you built your store, how long it took to actually get it the way you want it, right? You had to get the photos going. You had to think about what products you're making, and you can make new products, or the descriptions, and how long that took to actually build, right? So, but once you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
I love that. That's my
And it's
saying.
interesting because I don't do a whole lot in there, but I'm still getting orders from around the country. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. So, and I think also, if the more we are being indexed, right, the more the bots are going to come.
Yeah.
So even, and Tracy writes, she's got 200, 300 blogs that we moved to Shopify. And some of her blogs she's an influencer, a mom influencer, and she also does social media, blah, blah, blah. She's been helping us as well. But which was interesting because I write the blogs and I have all the information in that blog that somebody would need. But she writes short information, right? It's like, okay, really? This is all you have on the blog? It's like 3 paragraphs, you know? So I'm looking at, okay, so if we only writing a little bit of stuff, then how is it going to pitch up on AI? But again, we always have to think about whatever we do has to be intentional, right? Because we don't have the time. So what do you want to tell your customers when you are writing that blog, right? So, always think, okay, so I'm writing this blog, but then you have to do a whole series, right? We love books in series, and we love the shows I hate shows in series, but anyway, just give me a movie, right? But we love this, everybody loves the series, otherwise they wouldn't make them. So we need to write our blogs like a series. So we write about, I know you've done it already. So repurposing those blogs as well, and then asking AI, add some more information. Do you have more ideas about this blog? Can you add some more stuff? I always say, do some deep research. I saw that comment somewhere. Do deep research for this topic. And then it'll come up with stuff. And sometimes it comes up with some really cool stuff. Sometimes it's really weird. And then ask for references, but not all the references are right. It makes stuff up. And I'm always questioning, like, 70% of people are doing this on Shopify. Go, where do you get this from? We haven't even started on shopping AI. You're telling me 70% of sales are coming from that. No, they're not, right? So you can imagine me and AI, like, battle. So you got to always question what they're writing. It's like having a blog writer that writes your blogs for you. You as an owner need to actually check those blogs, because they can sometimes write a lot of nonsense. The same thing with AI. It only puts out what we put in. Right? So are we asking the right questions? So and is how Donna used to infiltrate, I like to say that, groups, right? Puzzle groups, to see what people are asking. I mean, your subject because you've done it for such a long time. But what are people asking? What are the pains that they have? And that's what you write about, because that's what they're going to ask AI. And so if you're writing about those specific things, and things we don't actually mention, then you will be mentioned by AI. But again, it has to be updated or new stuff. So if you have old blogs, update your old blogs. Add new stuff to it, right? With your stuff, hey, use this type of essential oil, because essential oil will do this, this, and this for you. And if you want to sleep, then add this, this, and this. And here's a recipe for essential oils, right? So you can literally create that whole thing around the I thing, like the I thing. I wish I could use that I thing. It's like, the I thing, because people do use it because it's good for headaches. So what do I add to it? If the smell has gone away, what do I do with it? And then that feeds back into your FAQs, because so if you have that question in your FAQs and somebody asks it on AI, your FAQs are going to pitch up. So you see where you can start adding and stuffing keywords, baby, stuffing in these things, where if you have it on several pages in your store, then you will get mentioned. But we have to, what the rules are. Consistent, at least once a week. I'm doing 3 to 4, I'm doing 5 times a week. And it doesn't always happen, baby. I've just started my emails again, right? Do the emails. And that's another thing, you can actually grab your blog stuff into your emails and start emailing that out, because it helps people. That's what will open up stuff.
Right. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh
I know I've concentrated just on you, but everybody has the same thing, right? So what do I?
yeah.
So I wrote a blog for Christie, Industrial Farm Co. about how to create a man cave. I loved it. I wrote it a year ago when AI just started. No, I wrote it a year ago. I've been on AI blogs now for 3 or 4 years already. But I wrote it with, I think it was one of my first ones with AI ChatGPT, and I was in bed going, "Oh, Rogers, check this out. I did this. Bring me a cup of tea. I'm ready. My blog is ready." Right. Check what it does. Oh my gosh, here's a list of tools. Okay, Roy, do we need all these tools? I know, but I don't really know in America. I know in South Africa tools that I need for construction. But, so I was so excited about it, but it was basic then. So you can update all the time. You can fling that thing in and add more stuff like I showed you on SaleRight, and then create the video, literally, opportunities. Because of AI, it is easier. That's what I find. It is easier to come up with extra ideas. It's easier to come up with ideas for blogs if you ask the right question, right? If it knows who you are, what you do, and what you sell. And then what I always pop in is something about you, your about page, and that needs to be updated, by the way. So all of that stuff combined will make AI actually understand what you're asking, where you're coming from, and then you have to ask the right questions and continue to ask the right questions because they get things wrong. It's like, okay, I'm going to finish the video. Thank you very much. Don't go away then.